Hi, Captain Lorenzetti here for SkimmerOutdoors.com, Trophy Fishing Tackle, Ramsey Realtors, and Bergen Bay Docks bringing you the weekend update and fishing forecast. This for the weekend of June 22nd, 3rd, and 4th. Weather is not looking that good for Friday and Saturday. It's going to blow east pretty hard. Sunday looks like the wind's going to drop out, but the ocean's going to be really up. So I think pretty much it's going to be restricted to inshore fishing this weekend. Unless that changes, you know, sometimes forecast, but it does look like it's one of those easterly blows, which is just very bad. East wind really builds a swell quickly. I mean, out of the west, it can blow 40 knots, and the next morning when the wind drops out, there's no swell. So that's the way that goes. So it's going to be a little bit tricky. The striped bass fishing for the past week has been east of Fire Island best. Anywhere from Ocean Beach to Mauritius Inlet or around the breach. That's pretty much where the big fish have been, and they are big. Fish, I heard of a 67-pound fish being caught. A number of fish in the 50s, so, but it's not red hot action, and one day it can be very slow, another day it can be pretty decent, and I haven't heard of any days where it just knock them down, drag them out kind of fishing, but it's okay fishing. Still waiting to get a couple of reports from the west. There are still a few fish west. I know Jamaica Bay, they're still catching fish, so there's still more fish to come down along the beach, and I'm just hoping that it continues the action for another couple of weeks or a month. Fluke fishing seems to be improving somewhat. If you notice, well, I notice, I've been out there quite a bit. There's a line of draggers working in 60 feet of water from Jones Inlet to Mauritius Inlet, and they're catching squid. And I mean, if there's that quantity of bait, the fish were going to move in on it pretty soon. So I'm looking for the fluke fishing in the ocean to really pick up. And there are some fish around Fire Island Inlet. You catch that top of the flood, start of the ebb, and there are some fish to be caught there as well. Now, a tuna bite has happened. This is a weird story. A dragger, one of those draggers, squid draggers, 60 feet of water just west of Mauritius Inlet yesterday, hauled their net, and the tuna erupted all over. A guy hooked up, but he got spooled. So they're pretty decent sized fish. I don't know what kind of what he had, probably a bass rod or something like that, you know, a fluke rod. So a 60-pound fish could have spooled them. I'm not saying they're huge. But then yesterday, north of the Bacardi, I mean, top water action, tuna fish busting up, sand eels, a lot of tuna caught yesterday, and some big stuff pushing 100 inches even. So the bluefin bite is on. All we need to do is get some decent weather. It's going to be red hot, and you come down here to Trophy Tackle, is anything you possibly need for tuna fishing. A couple of other things to mention. Sea bass season opens for New York this Saturday the 23rd. And I mean, all the sea bass regulations are ridiculous. How can you have New Jersey have an open season when we're closed? Yesterday, my buddy was out near the not triple wreck area, but up by the G&D and the Yankee wrecks. All the Jersey boats were anchored up on those wrecks, catching what I consider New York State sea bass. Yeah, they're not in New York State waters, totally legitimate to do that, but that's the controversy. Now when our season opens on Saturday, all the wrecks that we fish are going to be picked clean. So it's ridiculous. Either everybody's on or everybody's off. The state by state, you're on, you're open, you're closed, is ridiculous. All right. Anyway, down here at Trophy Tackle, a couple of things I'd like to show you. This is kind of interesting. This is a new jig put out by Mustad. And the cool thing about this jig, notice there's two different line attachment points. One on top of the jig and one near the nose. Depending on which one you use, gives a completely different action to this jig. In the nose, of course, it's going to be pulled horizontally. If you put it on the top, it's going to kind of be worked vertically. And if you do pull it sideways through the water, I think on that top one, I'm going to experiment with it. It's going to give it a little bit of wobble. So it's a kind of interesting new innovation on a product. And I think that's going to sell very well, and I think it's going to catch very well. And the other thing this time of year, hey, it's fluke season. Down here, they put together what they call the Captain Al Fluke Rig, the Fluke Kit, and it's got true turn swivels in there 3 ways. It's got fluorocarbon. It's got quick connects. It's got hooks, and enough to tie 6 of your own fluke rigs, and then you'll have some extra stuff as well to be left over. Fluorocarbon leader. There'll be a couple of extra things, and so you can just come down to Trophy and pick up the extra parts you need to continue with the kit and make more and more fluke rigs. And this is a dynamite rig. quick connect at the bottom for changing bucktails or any other kind of hard, jig head you want, and then a hook up above to put natural bait or something like gulps on it or Z-mans, and have a great time catching fluke. So this will catch anything, by the way. I've caught striped bass, weak fish, fluke, sea bass, you name it. It's an awesome rig, and they have them down here. So that's about it for this weekend. Get out there, deal with the weather, and have fun and catch them up.